afternoon, everyone. How many of you gave the test? One person. Who is that one person? There is only a single person who came for the test. ऐसे कुछ नहीं होगा. So we were doing the temperate cyclones. We finished it. They are associated with the fronts. Clear? Warm front, cold front. Second point is theories. The frontal theory of Berkens and Berkens and conclusion में, this is not a mainstream theory. जो दूसरी हमने की theory, it will never come as a separate question. It is not a mainstream theory, but you should use it as a value addition. What is the name of the theory? Baroclinicity theory. Wave theory. Frontal theory is also known as a wave theory of a formation of the cyclones. Now coming to the last point, that is the tropical cyclones. I guess everyone here is clear about the basic idea of a tropical cyclones. How they form, where are they formed, why they form. But हमारा answer थोड़ा यहाँ पे different होगा. That is just some of the points. And then thunderstorms, etc. I have given you a handout, which you do it from the handout. It is थोड़ा large, so that I'll discuss this handout, but इसमें से सब कुछ नहीं लिखना है. Obviously, you have to write only in 2 pages. Handout is large because of the explanation. What is the hail, what is the squall, etc. सबका mechanisms are going to be the same. Fine. Whether it is the thunderstorm, whether it is the tropical cyclone, or whether it is the tornado, the mechanism of each and everything will be the same. So coming to the tropical cyclone, what are the conditions for the tropical cyclone? Tell me. कहाँ पे फॉर्म होता है? Tell me regions. Latitudes. What are in the tropics? Therefore, the name tropical cyclone. So, what are the latitudes between the tropics? 23.5 degree north, 23.5 degree south, but thoda bahut it will occur between 30 to 35 degrees, or it will go up to 35 degrees north and south. So, can I say regions in the terms of latitudes will be 10 degree to 35 degree north and 10 degree to 35 degree south, or sometimes even in the regions of 5 to 35 degree north and 5 to 35 degree south. But in generally the regions between 0 to 8 degree north and 0 to 8 degree south do not have tropical cyclones. Why they do not have tropical cyclone? Because Coriolis force is absent, and therefore the pressure gradient wind, that is the wind which goes around the circles, do not develop in these regions. Fine. Second, what is the mechanism? This is a landmass and there is a water body. So during the summer season, water body gets heated. Uska temperature becomes somewhere around 27 degree Celsius. As the summers progress, there will be more and more heating of the water body, and more heating of the water body results into 60 meter ka this entire region. Minimum the depth should be 60 meters ka entire region getting converted into warm water body having 27 degrees Celsius of temperature. Because of that, this is evaporation. Evaporation results into releasing of latent heat of condensation into the surrounding atmosphere. Matlab, in simple words, heat is added to the surrounding atmosphere and therefore low pressure starts developing here. As the low pressure starts developing here, air will start rising upwards along the low pressure system and it will start cooling, resulting into formation of clouds. Clear? Understanding? Resulting into formation of clouds. Because of cloud formation, again as the air will start cooling, it will start adding the low pressure to the surrounding atmosphere. कुछ अगर चीज कूल हो रही है तो उसके अंदर की हीट वो क्या कर रहा है? It is giving it to the surrounding atmosphere. Now this heat is in the form of moist heat, and moist heat is one of the most powerful source of energy, that is the steam. This heat is in the form of moist heat, therefore low pressure centers are intensified. As the low pressure centers are intensified, more winds start coming to this, resulting into the first stage of tropical cyclone formation, which is known as depression, resulting into formation of a depression. If the depression stays over the sea, or if the depression is developed far inside the sea and it will start traveling more over the sea, it will start gathering more and more amount of moist heat. Fine? And as a result of this, the low pressure center becomes very, very stronger. When the low pressure center becomes very stronger, different air masses, and you can see thoda bahut front jaisa hi hai ye, different air masses. This air masses will be from the land, this air masses will be totally from the sea, this air mass can be from the northern hemisphere, this air mass can be from the southern hemisphere, are pulled in this low pressure center and they are thrown upwards. As they are thrown upwards, due to the absence of vertical wind shear, due to the absence of up and down movement of the winds, this air which is thrown upwards starts accumulating at the top. Because the air increases here, accumulation ho jata hai at the top, density of the air increases. Understanding? As the density of the air increases, there is a convergence which starts occurring, divergence which starts occurring. And also some air starts descending. GS में हम सिर्फ ऊपर ऊपर से पढ़ते हैं. Rainless, cloudless center is known as I. But you have to understand why. Because of the convergence of an air, divergence of an air, because of more amount of air present here in the upper atmosphere, I will say this is a high pressure. यहाँ पे air will start descending. Descending air will not allow the rise of air further, will not allow rainfall to occur, will not allow cloud formation to occur, and therefore ये और गर्म होते जाएगा because rainfall does not occur. Understanding? And बाकी का regions, thus low pressure belt के तरह, it will act like an suck. It will suck the air from all the sides, and hence this then will start cooling, resulting into formation of first band of a cumulonimbus cloud. As the first band starts developing, this is the region jahan pe there is a most powerful wind system. Therefore, this is a wall of a cumulonimbus cloud is formed. Surrounding this band, there will be another wall of a cumulonimbus cloud. There can be another wall of a cumulonimbus cloud. And thus, the tropical cyclone will have several bands or walls or spirals of a cumulonimbus cloud, and the entire air will start going upwards from this spiral. Understanding? क्या हो रहा है? Air is going up around the cumulonimbus cloud, it is going in the upward manner. But center में, because the air is descending from above, therefore this is a rainless, cloudless center which is known as an eye. This thing will keep on occurring till the time the eye, this is what is known as an eye of a cumulonimbus cloud. Eye touches the land. As soon as the eye will touch the land, uska source of energy, that is the moist heat, disappears. And because it disappears, the tropical cyclone will die out. Fine? So first comparison with the temperate cyclone. Does it have fronts? No. Does it have different temperatures in different parts? No. Does it have rainfall only at specific parts? No. Mostly, except for very small area known as eye, each and every part will give the rainfall. What is the amount of wind speed? When the depressions cross the wind speed of 120 kilometers per hour, we will call them as hurricanes or cyclones. That is what is the wind speed. What is the wind speed in the temperate cyclone? Yes, around 30 to maximum worst case scenario 50 kilometers per hour. यहाँ पे when it is known as cyclone, it is known as cyclone only if the wind speed crosses 120 kilometers per hour. If the wind speed is less than 120 kilometers per hour, it will call this as a depression. Understanding? क्यों wind speed ज़्यादा होगा? बताओ मुझे. Because wind speed is more because there is extreme low pressure. The central low pressure and outside high pressure के बीच का difference is very, very high. So can I say pressure gradient force is very greater in the temperate tropical cyclone than the temperate cyclone? And does it form throughout the year whenever there is a convergence of the air masses, or is it restricted to some specific time of a year? Specific time. It generally occurs in the summer season. Temperate cyclones, any season. They are most strongest in the winter season. Tropical cyclones only in the summer season. Which tropical cyclone is in the news right now in Japan? What? It is in today's newspaper. The death toll has crossed 47. अब 47 आज का हिंदू Hagibichi. Fine, that is what is the tropical cyclone that is in the news. And why? What is coming in the news? It is coming as typhoon. Why? Because tropical cyclones are known by different names in their regions. Fine, but what is the main source of energy? Latent heat that is stored in water vapor, and when the water vapor starts cooling and starts becoming cloud or water droplets, you know that cloud is a collection of water droplets. It gives out the heat which is present inside them, and as a result of this, there will be the cyclone, low pressure center. What is the main source of energy there? Convergence and fronts. How is the rise of air? Vertical. How is the rise of air? Slope. Slope steep हो सकता है या slope can be gentle, but there will be, यहाँ पे there is a vertical rise of air. कहीं दिख रहा है stratus cloud और सब? There are numerous cumulonimbus cloud. Fine. So as a result of this, this is known as a tropical or tropical disaster. This comes in the category of disaster. So आज का पहले 3 topics are tropical disasters. And what are the tropical disasters? Or instability, and सबसे पहले tropical cyclone, tornado and thunderstorms. Mechanism is same. The only thing is, because tropical cyclone originates only on the water bodies, therefore uska heat is immense. That is, the steam has more power, therefore it is most dangerous. Fine. Thunderstorms can occur anywhere, and thunderstorms can occur anywhere, and tornadoes, jahan pe there is a warm and cold front. So look in the third page of tornado handout. I have given you the diagram. This is the diagram. Look in the third page, USA वाला region. समझ में आ रहा है diagram? Cold air mass and warm air mass. Tornadoes. What is happening due to the Gulf Stream? Warm air mass is coming, and due to the absence of mountains, cold air mass is coming, and as a result of this, that is what is known as tornado alley or tornado belt. Can I continue? So, tropical cyclones. मैं बताऊंगा मेसोसाइक्लोन क्या होता है. वो क्लाउड फॉर्मेशन जब क्यूमुलोनिम्बस क्लाउड एक स्टेज में पहुंच जाता है, उसको हम कहेंगे मेसोसाइक्लोन. A tropical depression or a tropical disturbance that develops between had I given you Clive Wilkinson report of coral bleaching, share किया था. Have I told you earlier regarding Milankovitch cycles कि क्या है Milankovitch cycle climate change का? I mentioned it, right? So the tropical disturbance that develops between 8 to 35 degree north and south, 8 to 35 degree north and south, 8 to 35 degree north and south, characterized by extreme low pressure conditions, comma, closed isobars, and counterclockwise wind circulation in northern hemisphere. Counterclockwise wind circulation in the northern hemisphere. Vice versa is the southern hemisphere, you know. Over the oceanic surfaces are known as tropical cyclones. Next, they develop in the regions of ITCZ. They develop in the regions of ITCZ due to convergence of warm tropical air masses. Is it fronts? No. Why? Because both the air masses are warm due to the convergence of warm tropical air masses. Underline the word, they develop in the regions of ITCZ. ऐसे कैसे in the regions of ITCZ? ITCZ पे तो there is no Coriolis force. Then why we are saying they develop in the regions of ITCZ? When the ITCZ is not at its original position. Next, the world distribution. The world distribution of the tropical cyclones is as shown below. World distribution of the tropical cyclones is as shown below. Draw the world map quickly. What are these lines, blue color lines? Cold ocean currents. What is their general direction? East to west. What is the general direction of temperate cyclone? West to east. Equator. एग्जाम में सब कुछ ड्रॉ करने की ज़रूरत नहीं, जस्ट टू टेल यू द कंडीशंस, कहाँ पे नहीं है, कहाँ पे है. Even in the regions, same latitudes, it is not present in the regions where there are cold ocean currents. Getting it? What are they known as in Australia? Willy Willy. What are they known in Indian Ocean? Cyclones. What are they called in the Sea of Japan and the South China Sea? Typhoons. What are they known in Atlantic? Hurricanes. Clear? Can I go? Conditions. So what are the conditions? GS बताओ मुझे जल्दी. Temperature कितना? Other than that, low pressure centers. What? ITCZ. Other than this, La Nina, El Nino, large water bodies. Coriolis force. बस इसी को हमें थोड़ा डिटेल में लिखना है ताकि it is known as an optional का answer. So you can see here in the first diagram all these conditions are there. So first condition is large continuous supply of warm and moist air. Right? इसके अंदर they originate in the regions. They originate in the regions of warm oceans, with surface temperature more than 27 degrees Celsius. With surface temperature more than 27 degrees Celsius. Up to a depth of, मतलब ये minimum condition है, fine? Up to a depth of 60 meters. Depth of 60 meters. Which transfers huge amount of water vapor to the surrounding air mass. Huge amount of water vapor to the surrounding air masses. They are very strong in the regions. They are very strong in the regions of warm ocean currents. They are very strong in the regions of warm ocean currents. Because such regions promote or cause shifting of ITCZ. Shifting of ITCZ. सबसे important point है ITCZ होना चाहिए, but not in its original position. So you see, green line which I have drawn is ITCZ. So why ITCZ is here? See how it is going southwards. Then when the ITCZ is here, when is the ITCZ here? When the southwest monsoon is present over India, this is the region of ITCZ. But during the retreating monsoon, as the sun is going downwards, धीरे धीरे ITCZ नीचे जा रहा है. And this will be the region जहाँ पे tropical cyclones will start originating. That is this season, retreating monsoon season. You see in the southern hemisphere how properly ITCZ, it is shifting here, थोड़ा downwards, फिर से northwards, फिर से downwards, northwards and फिर से downwards. So it is avoiding the regions, ITCZ is avoiding the regions where there are cold ocean currents, and therefore tropical cyclones do not develop on the western side of some continents, especially the western side of, getting it, South America and Africa. Fine? Understanding? Each and every fact you try to remember, even for prelims point of view. There was one question in 2015. Tropical cyclones do not develop on the western side of South America and Africa because one option was, you had to choose only one option. एक option था Coriolis force is absent. It has nothing to do with the Coriolis force. दूसरा option था ITCZ does not shift. Fine. One of the option was, this is the region of warm sea surface temperature, cold sea surface temperature due to cold ocean currents. One of the option was cold ocean currents. So what is the exact answer? They had asked you, the tropical cyclones do not develop on western side of the South America and western side of Africa. दो options में से एक option choose करना है. There were 4 options. बाकी के 2 options you can easily negate because they are totally wrong. There are 2 options due to presence of cold ocean currents, or one option was ITCZ does not shift. Answer is ITCZ does not shift. Why ITCZ does not shift is due to cold ocean currents. They are not asking you why ITCZ does not shift. They are asking you why tropical cyclones do not form. Fine. This question was highly conceptual. एक ही ऑप्शन दिया है, A, B, C, D. अगर होता both one है, A कुछ और था, B था ITCZ does not shift, C था कुछ ऐसे ही, D था cold currents. You have to choose only one. Condition में ITCZ है, not cold currents. Fine. Condition में ITCZ है. इसलिए एटलीस्ट ऑप्शनल के स्टूडेंट्स हो तो ऐसे क्वेश्चंस रॉन्ग मत करना जल्दी जल्दी में. GS वाले तो रॉन्ग करेंगे इसको. Most of them will mark cold ocean currents. UPSC का आंसर की says this thing. ITCZ does not shift. Because इसलिए हमने first line क्या लिखी है? They develop in the regions of warm sea surface temperature and ITCZ. Definition के बाद अगर कोल्ड करंट एब्सेंट है तो ITCZ शिफ्ट होगा, अगर ITCZ शिफ्ट हो गया तो देयर विल बी साइक्लोन्स अल नीनो के समय. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? अल नीनो के समय देयर इज टू मच ऑफ अ साइक्लोन्स इवन इन द पेरू-चिली कोस्ट लाइन बिकॉज ITCZ विल शिफ्ट देयर. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन द रीजन्स ऑफ ITCZ? For example, if the ITCZ is here, understanding? There has to be convergence of air masses. Where will the air masses converge? Wherever there is ITCZ. Understanding? Cyclones ke liye there has to be convergence of air masses. If you remember this, the only difference is there has to be no contrasting air masses, but convergence has to be there. क्यों इंडिया में साइक्लोन्स ओरिजिनेट इन दिस सीजन इन द retreating monsoon season? Because when the ITCZ is over here, for example, northeast monsoon converges with the southwest monsoon and then यहाँ पे cyclones originate हो जाएंगे. Getting it? There has to be convergence. Even if there is a cold current or warm current, and if the ITCZ, see, had the answer being ocean currents, had the answer been ocean current is more important. So when the sun is over here in the northern hemisphere, still there is a warm current in Australia. Fine, East Australian current is there, Brazilian current is there, तब भी आने चाहिए थे cyclones. तब क्यों नहीं आते cyclones? Or when the sun is now in the southern hemisphere, there will be Gulf Stream, there will be warm currents in the Indian Ocean. There had to be cyclones that time also. But तब नहीं आते cyclones because ITCZ नहीं है. Understanding? So are you understanding what I am trying to say? Getting it? Next point. Next point I am saying, tropical cyclones generally originate on the western side of the oceans. Generally originate on the western side of the oceans where temperatures are higher. Western side of the oceans, not the continents, where the temperatures are higher. Clear? Second condition. Higher value of Coriolis force. हमेशा याद रखना, in the exam your first condition compulsorily has to be this. You cannot start with here. Fine? It has to be this means this. You are going in the terms of importance. सबसे पहले important कौन सा है? This. Second important क्या है? This. Third importance क्या है? Upper air anticyclone. Fine? Upper air divergence. You have to go in the terms of importance. Higher value of Coriolis force. They are absent between 5 degree north to 5 degree south. Five degree north and 5 degree south. Because of weak Coriolis force, which does not help in the developing gradient wind, which does not help in developing gradient wind. Gradient wind means, remember the gradient wind? Circular air movement. Third, presence of ITCZ. Presence of ITCZ. Recent understanding of the tropical cyclones. See why it is not present in NCERT. NCERT में एक line क्यों है? एक line है presence of ITCZ, okay? But recent understanding of the tropical cyclones show that when the warm air masses converge along the ITCZ, and if there is a sufficient Coriolis force to cause deflection, there is sufficient Coriolis force to cause deflection, then depressions and cyclones are formed. Then depressions and cyclones are formed. Then the depressions and the cyclones are formed. Hence, in the regions of cold ocean currents, intertropical convergence zone does not shift. Intertropical convergence zone does not shift. Therefore, cyclones are absent. Cyclones are absent. On the western coast of some continents. On the western coast of continents. Understanding? There is warm ocean current. ठीक है, समझ में आता है. Region is very warm. But if the region is very warm, it will pull the air. Cyclone formation to occur, the air has to go up. Wind has to go up. Wind will go up only if it gets concentrated in that region, in the small region. For concentration to occur, this wind which is going straight, a straight wind, has to be deflected here. For deflection to occur, which have what, किसका value होना चाहिए? Coriolis force का. Then only this wind will be deflected to this low pressure center. यहाँ से ऊपर जाएगी और ये low pressure center intensify होगा. This low pressure center will be intensified if this all the winds go upwards only from a narrow point. Otherwise, if there is no deflection, तो फिर doldrum का belt है. Then there is no cyclone. Getting it? That is why ITCZ is compulsory. Understanding? Otherwise, this is a belt of doldrums. This winds, if the ITCZ is at the equator, this winds will come up, rise from here. They will not converge along a smaller point. Now, understanding that 2015 prelims ka question. Why ITCZ is necessary? Getting it? Next. Tropospheric upper air, sorry, next condition is upper air divergence. Divergence or outflow. Upper air divergence or outflow. In this anticyclonic conditions, must exist at the height of, you can write in any manner you want, 9 to 15 kilometers likho ya 9,000 to 15,000 meters, and underline this. Upper air anticyclonic conditions must exist at the height of 9,000 to 15,000 meters above the surface disturbance. Above the surface disturbance or surface low pressure. Surface low pressure. This allows pumping out or throwing out of ascending air mass, or you can write air currents, don't write air mass, sorry, write air current, ascending air current from the eye, and you can draw this diagram. Can I continue? Weak vertical wind shear. Next condition is weak vertical wind shear, weak vertical wind shear. Handout. You got the handout? Open the tornado, see next page pe what is wind shear. वो handout जो आ जा रहे हैं, दो चाहिए और. हाँ
आपका ही कुछ है कैसे वाईफाई के लिए
मेरा iPad उधर लेके दोनों के दो. हाँ? What is wind shear then? Understood? Change in the speed and direction of the wind. It can be horizontal, it can be vertical. यहाँ पे कौन सी condition है? Vertical wind shear. For example, if this is our ground surface, or second, for example, if this is our top view, if the wind is continuously changing the direction, it is known as horizontal wind shear. Vertical wind shear, if the wind is continuously changing उसका direction. ऐसे से साइक्लोन होगा कि नहीं? साइक्लोन के लिए क्या है? Wind has to be in the continuous direction. It cannot keep on changing the direction. Otherwise, there won't be formation of eye. Understood? Weak vertical wind shear. Therefore, in this point, एग्जाम में लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. Understood weak vertical wind shear? Shear means change in the direction. Air has to come in continuous direction and go upwards. It cannot change उसका path, otherwise it will result into death of a cyclone. Therefore, hurricane or cyclones are formed on the equatorward latitudes of subtropical jet stream. Equatorward latitude of the subtropical jet stream. Understood this point? That is, if this is our subtropical westerly jet stream, उसके ऊपर there is a polar jet stream. इस पूरे region में there is huge amount of wind shear. But equatorward latitudes of subtropical jet stream, that is towards the equator, वहाँ पे wind shear कम होता है. Change in the wind is very less, and hence tropical cyclones will occur here. Next condition, existence of mild tropical disturbance, existence of mild tropical disturbance. Mild tropical disturbance will result into, will help in intensifying, will help in intensifying these depressions into violent tropical cyclones. Read the point again and tell me what you have understood. Existence of weak tropical disturbances or depressions will help in modifying or intensifying them into tropical cyclones. Matlab, if the sea is already having some depressions means low pressure centers, then there is better chances that they will get converted into tropical cyclones. Question is, क्यों है ऐसा depressions? डिप्रेशंस इसलिए है या डिस्टर्बेंसेस छोटे छोटे लो प्रेशर सेंटर्स पूरे देखो पूरे बे ऑफ बंगाल में कुछ कुछ जगह लो प्रेशर सेंटर के सेल्स रहेंगे, इनको हम कहेंगे डिप्रेशंस. आउट ऑफ दिस most of them will die, but 1 or 2 will get converted into tropical cyclones. In the month of October itself, there are 480 tropical disturbances created in the Bay of Bengal, out of which somewhere around 32 mature into tropical cyclones. इसका मतलब ये है, why is it so? This depressions, ये low pressure centers क्यों है? Because of different air masses will converge here. ये dry air mass है, ये cooled air mass है, ये warm air mass है. So air is converging, different air is converging. So these depressions are caused due to local temperature changes. Local temperature changes means difference between the land and water, the shape of the water body, etc. Fine. अचानक ऐसे लो प्रेशर सेंटर नहीं बनता कि वो ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन्स में कन्वर्ट हो गया. There are some depressions then get converted into tropical cyclones. And these depressions are localized pressure belts. It can occur anywhere. Getting it? Next point. Have you written all the 6 conditions? Generally try to follow the order, but first 3 are most important. Right? Development or life cycle of a tropical cyclone. Development or a life cycle of a tropical cyclone. You know what are thunderstorms? Can you tell what are thunderstorms? Or what is Kal Baisakhi? What is Andhi? In simple words. Fine. What are thunderstorms? What? Local winds, Kal Baisakhi, Andhi. कैसे develop होता है? I want in very simple words how they are developed. Convection. क्यों होता है convection? Low pressure. क्यों होता है low pressure? Heating. उससे क्या होगा? What happens due to heating and low pressure? It will pull the air. Because of that, air will rise upwards. As the air will rise upwards, it will intensify and become a low pressure center. In layman language, this is very fine. Open the thunderstorm. पहला handout. यही चीजें, when you study at optional level, you write it in, look at the 3rd page of the thunderstorms. You write it in much better manner. Cumulus stage, mature stage and dissipation stage. Fine? Getting it? This is how. यही है. Cumulus stage क्या है? जब cloud बनेगा. Mature stage when it is properly developed. Dissipation stage when it is dies out. Getting it? Same with this tropical cyclone. You already know Q form हो रहा है. कि sea should be warmer, depressions will be formed, it will suck the air masses from all the side, air mass will go up, because it is cooling, it will release the latent heat of condensation, the low pressure will get intensified, या heating से the low pressure will become very stronger, it will now pull the winds from all the direction, winds इतना stronger होगा low pressure center की winds will start, instead of rising gently upwards, they will start vertically rising upwards, and then in the upper air they will be thrown in different directions. It will result into formation of wall of cumulonimbus clouds. This wall of cumulonimbus clouds के बाजू के center में there will be eye in which the air subsides, and that is the rainless cloudless center of a cyclone. This entire cyclone will continue to live on the water. As soon as eye touches the land, the cyclone is going to die. Clear with this? You know already this? अब इसको सिर्फ हमें point wise लिखना है. First stage, second stage, third stage, nothing else. Clear? That is why the word is life cycle of tropical cyclone. When you call it in the stages. Birth and death के बीच क्या है? Youthful, mature, old age. So life cycle. क्या दिख रहा है आपको? How can you start the introduction of your answer? किसका इन्फ्लुएंस दिख रहा है इन क्लाइमेटोलॉजी? डेविस या डार्विन? डार्विन. डेविस was influenced by Darwin. Fine? So this is the Darwinian influence in climatology. Getting it? The advocates of the frontal theory. Point number 1, the advocates of the frontal theory. Argue that all the types of cyclones, argue that all the cyclones originate due to frontogenesis, full stop. Even the tropical cyclones originate. Even the tropical cyclones originate due to formation of fronts, formed by meeting of land and sea winds. Formation of fronts formed by meeting of land and sea winds. Land and sea winds. So Bergen and Bergen, which are the advocates of the frontal theory, says that there is a sea breeze and there is a land breeze. जब दोनों मिलते हैं तो there is a front, and this is what is the tropical cyclone. Fine. Next. With the coming up of positivist models in geography, positivist models in geography, the frontal theory, the frontal concept, not the theory, the frontal concept has been rejected. कौन सा rejected है याद रखना, only tropical cyclone का has been rejected. Next point, the new concept says they are formed due to development of low pressure centers of thermal origin. Low pressure center of thermal origin. मतलब in the bracket can I say nothing but ITCZ? Understanding? अब ये जो conceptual questions है prelims में, इनको गलत मत करना. इस साल भी 2 conceptual question थे. Optional वालों ने गलत नहीं करना चाहिए बस. Understood? Next point. This low pressure zone, this zone occurs when, where northeast and southeast trade winds meet. Northeast and the trout meet. It is divided into 3 stages. साउथ वेस्ट सिर्फ इंडिया में ना, बाकी की जगह क्या है? ट्रेड विंड्स आर ईस्टर्लीज. ट्रेड विंड्स आर ईस्टर्लीज, इंडिया नहीं सिर्फ. नॉर्थ वेस्ट एंड साउथ वेस्ट मत लिखना, नॉर्थ ईस्ट एंड साउथ वेस्ट. Next point. It is divided into 3 stages. Stage 1, initial stage. Stage 1, initial stage. Warm sea surface temperature, warm sea surface, bracket में 27 degrees. Cause huge transfer of water vapor, through the process of evaporation. This causes atmospheric instability. Resulting into formation of vertical cumulus clouds. associated with convection, associated with convection, associated with convection. You can draw this diagram. Has the subtropical westerly jet stream started coming to India? Has the subtropical westerly jet stream started coming to India? Yes. Therefore, pollution level has increased. Can I continue? Mature stage, stage 2, mature stage. On the intensification of a low pressure center, on the intensification of the low pressure center, due to addition of latent heat of condensation, due to addition of latent heat, you just write latent heat and in the bracket moist heat. In the form of moist heat. Air vertically rises upwards. Air vertically rises upwards up to tropopause, intensifying the convection, intensifying the convection, intensifying the convection. Intensifying the convection. This intensification of low pressure, this causes the winds from the surrounding region to This causes the winds from the surrounding region to rise upwards in a spiraling manner. To rise upwards in a spiraling manner. Rise upwards in a spiraling manner. Further intensifying the cyclones. Further intensifying the cyclones. Further intensifying the cyclones. Can you draw this diagram? अगर नहीं बना सकते तो नॉर्मल बनाओ. Can I continue? Can I continue? In the same point. As the low pressure is intensified, where did I stop? A huge wall of cumulonimbus clouds develop, huge wall of cumulonimbus clouds develop in different spiraling bands, in different spiraling bands, in different spiraling bands. Different spiraling bands. Full stop. Due to increase of pressure at higher levels, due to the increase of pressure at higher levels, increase of pressure at the higher levels, some air descends in the central part, some air descends in the central part, giving rise to rainless cloudless center. Giving rise to rainless cloudless center known as an eye. Known as eye. Rainless cloudless center known as an eye. कहाँ पे प्रेशर इंक्रीज हुआ? In the troposphere region, in the tropopause region. Fine. Therefore air descends. Prelims में ये पूछा जाता है, does air descend in the eye or does the air ascend in the eye? क्या है यहाँ पे? Descends. Clear? The temperature of the eye is the highest. The temperature of the eye is highest. The temperature of the eye is highest due to compression caused by subsidence. Due to compression caused by subsidence. The fully developed tropical cyclone, the fully developed tropical cyclone has numerous bands of cumulonimbus cloud, numerous bands of the cumulonimbus clouds, numerous bands of cumulonimbus cloud which cause heavy rainfall, along with lightning and thunder, numerous rainfall which causes heavy rainfall along with lightning and thunder. A fully developed tropical cyclone has following structure. A fully developed tropical cyclone has following structure. Draw this diagram quickly with me. And shade करो. I am not making it three-dimensional. जिसको बनाना है, they can make it later on. What is this red color lines? Winds. The boundaries of the cumulonimbus cloud is known as wall, and the cumulonimbus cloud themselves are known as rain bands. जहाँ पे रेनफॉल होने वाली है. Can I continue? Mature tropical cyclone. Next, last stage. Stage 3. Decay. When the tropical cyclone touches the landmass, when the eye of a tropical cyclone, makes landfall, means eye touching the land, landfall, eye touching the land. The source of moisture is cut off. The source of moisture is cut off. And the cyclone begins to ebb. Cyclone begins to ebb. What do you mean by ebb? High tide, ebb. Ebb means decrease, reduce. Fine. Cyclone begins to ebb. Tides में भी हमने use किया है. High tide and ebb. Cyclone begins to ebb. This can also occur when This can also occur when the cyclone passes over the cold water. When the cyclone crosses over the cold water. The most dangerous part of the cyclone during this stage is the most dangerous part of cyclone during this stage is, or are, not is, are high waves, high sea waves, which hit the landmass with very high velocity, known as storm surge. Known as storm surge. Known as storm surge. क्यों है storm surge? Why is the storm surge formed? The storm surges are formed because at the eye there is a low pressure and therefore water level will rise up. As the cyclone will move, that high level ka water level will also move along with the speed of a cyclone. Understanding? So this water which is there, यहाँ पे suddenly there will be rise in the water level. And जैसे cyclone move करेगा, ये पानी भी move करेगा. This is what is known as storm surge. Right? That is the cyclone. Life stage. It will die as soon as it touches the land. Fine? Now one thing, let's take a question that is differentiate between tropical cyclone and temperate cyclone. उससे पहले एक दो fact. Diameter of a tropical cyclone is somewhere around 80 to 300 kilometers. What was the diameter of a temperate cyclone? 3,000 kilometers के आसपास या उससे भी ज़्यादा. Velocity of the winds is depressions 60 kilometers per hour. It is known as tropical storm when its velocity is between 61 to 118 kilometers per hour. Third, it is known as cyclone if its velocity crosses 120 kilometers per hour. Rainfall fine. Or water bodies. Can I continue? Up, choice is yours how you are going to use these facts in the exam. Most commonly asked question in our climate is कभी compare और कभी differentiate between it has come right from 10 marker to 60 marker. This is the most common question of after Köppen, Thornwright and Trevartha. This is the most common question of climate. $60 भी कम पड़ता है लिखने के लिए. 60 marks means 6 pages, 6 to 7 pages, 600 words के आसपास. अभी नहीं आता है 60. 60 marks आता तो बहुत अच्छा होता. Reason is 60 marker में एक ही question. Fine. So you could select only topics. Geography was once upon a time favorite. अभी क्यों fall हुआ है geography का? Because there was a 60 marker. 160 marker of geomorpho, 160 marker of climato, 160 marker of oceano. पढ़ के ही मत जाओ बाकी के 2 chapters. 160 marker of thought, 160 marker of models and theories. 5 question prepare करके जाओ, बाकी का syllabus छोड़ दो. अब what is happening? 20, 15, 15. So 20 marker is from geomorpho, 15 marker in this is from oceano, 15 marker is from some other topic. आपको करना ही पड़े. 60 marker was the best for subjects such as geography, which were very vast. Students used to study only 50% of the syllabus and get rank. So comparison कैसे लिखोगे? What are the? I will give you the structure. Go home, write the structure. I had asked you to submit the one question also, but nobody has submitted. So how will you start? क्या क्या? Tell me the points properly. Structure का कैसे भी जो मन में आता है वो point. क्या क्या वही बारे में क्या एक पॉइंट मुझे बताओ. रीजन्स. ओके. Only water is the tropical cyclone. Fast, any point. How? इसमें भी cumulonimbus है, उसमें भी cumulonimbus है in the cold fronts. Speed. Fronts. And the other is due to moist heat. Rainfall. Direction. What is there in direction? Quick points. एक is from east to west. कौन सा? Tropical. One is from west to east. कौन सा? Temperate. 7th point. ITCZ. 8th. Disaster ऐसे नहीं. Some geographical point. Points अभी तक खत्म. Fronts है तो क्या है? कहाँ पे? In temperate cyclone, no temperature difference because both are warm air masses. Fine. Then Coriolis force दोनों में चाहिए throughout the year. कौन सा? Temperate cyclones. And tropical cyclones? Only in the summer season. What is this diagram about? Isobars. 10th point is closed isobars and V-shaped. ये point क्यों? Because of high pressure gradient, low pressure gradient. Due to this, wind speed is very high. इसमें understand 120 kilometers per hour. That is why it is a natural disaster. This is 35 kilometers per hour. ये पार्ट छोड़ के बाकी पूरे रीजन में there is going to be rainfall. इसमें heavy rain will occur only along the cold front. यहाँ पे तो drizzle होने वाला है. Understanding? These are the points. So I'll give you structure. Prepare this answer. ये हाथ का है. 2012, 2015, 2017, 2010, 2006. ईस्टर्ली जेट स्ट्रीम सिर्फ इंडिया में ऐसे नहीं लिख सकते डायरेक्टली जेट स्ट्रीम के साथ एसोसिएटेड नहीं है बट दिस इज द पॉइंट वन इज एसोसिएटेड विद द वेस्टर्ली विंड्स एंड अदर इज एसोसिएटेड विद ईस्टर्ली विंड्स इसीलिए डायरेक्शन इज फ्रॉम ईस्ट टू वेस्ट और वेस्ट टू ईस्ट अंडरस्टैंडिंग वन इज स्ट्रॉन्गर ड्यूरिंग द विंटर्स द अदर इज स्ट्रॉन्गर ड्यूरिंग द समर्स फाइन One is a natural disaster, the other is not at all a natural disaster. So I'll give you structure. सबसे पहले, when you write it always in the terms of paragraphs or points. Never write in this way. Fine? Never ever do this. Unless आपके पास 5 मिनट बचे हैं और वो लिखना है. When you are writing this, सबसे पहला point should be regions. Make a world map showing the regions. I'll give you for 20 marker. World map showing the regions. Fine? And write in this, tropical cyclones will develop in the belt of 5 to 35 degree, this from 35 to 65 degrees. Fine? Formation, सब headings दो properly ताकि examiner को भी अच्छा लगे कि at least एक answer तो बहुत अच्छी तरह से लिखा है. Fine? Neat and clean formation. One is due to the frontogenesis, where the source of energy is temperature difference between the air masses. Fine? And यहाँ पे it is latent heat of evaporation लिखो या condensation. देखो इसी पॉइंट में आएगा थर्ड पॉइंट. Therefore, temperate cyclones will develop both on land and sea, while tropical cyclones only on warm tropical oceans. I'm giving you for 30 marker. This 60 marker में this points you used to be separate, but यहाँ पे you are putting all the points here and bracket में fine 27 degrees Celsius. You have to give as much as information in one point. Fine. Third, can I continue? Third, pressure gradient and temperature gradient. यहाँ पे two diagrams will come in one box, small box. One showing closed isobars and one showing and then air. And this like this. और फिर यहाँ पे आएगा pressure gradient is more in tropical cyclones, and therefore उसी point में winds blow with very high speed. Towards central low pressure. Clear? On other hand, temperate cyclones have less pressure gradient. बस खत्म, ज़्यादा लिखने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. Same sub point. There is a temperature difference between different parts of temperate cyclone. And देखो अगर 20 marks 15 marks में है तो यहीं पे लिखना cold, यहाँ पे लिखना warm. But each and every, but such fronts are not in tropical cyclones. Clear? Understanding? I guess 3 points are over. Fourth point. Precipitation. Only along fronts, and there is a difference between cold front precipitation and warm front precipitation, right? But each and every part of tropical cyclone except I gives rainfall. Temperate cyclone में ऐसा नहीं है, there is rainfall, and rainfall में भी अलग अलग है, which is very heavy. Rainfall which is very heavy. Clear? Fifth, seasons. I guess I have already told you seasons, but अगर क्वेश्चन लंबा है तो seasons all throughout the year, but intensified in winters. और ये summers. Sixth, structure. ये बहुत important है, season से भी ज़्यादा. Let this point be, and यहाँ पे again 2 diagrams will come. A box and very small diagram. It does not take time at all. Right? फिर फिर उसमें लिख सकते हो. That is why I said जिसको जो facts use करने use करो. These are around 3000 meters in diameter. This is only around 80 meters in diameter but has great height. Structure shows the presence of. एक question आ सकता है separately structure पे भी. Compare the structure. So यहाँ पे तो you can write there is a eye wall, there are numerous walls of the cumulonimbus cloud, rain bands. But यहाँ पे एक diagram बताओ, the structure is different. यहाँ पे there are fronts, on other hand there is eye and wall of cumulonimbus clouds. And lastly direction. East to west, west to east. Done with this? Make a 3 pages ka answer. Clear? Anticyclones. Any doubts in the comparison? Any point I missed in difference? जो आपको पता है? Everything you knew, you have to work only on structuring. Fine? Structuring करना सीखो answer का. Answer should look beautiful. When you will learn the structuring, the day you write the answer and you feel proud of yourself, means your answer is perfect. If you can feel proud of only 60% of answers in the exam, उस साल interview call पक्का है. Remember this. There are students who will know कि they are going to get interview call. Why? Because they know what they have done. And ये सिर्फ 1-2 दिन रहता है. Day after the exam, you know कि whether you are going to get an interview call or not. 2-3 days after the exam, you start forgetting. बाकी के लोग आपने मेंस लिखे उस चर्चा में चले जाते हो, and then you वो false दुनिया में रहते हो. Maybe अच्छे लोग, those who have written good answers will feel insecure because they will start discussing. Those who have written bad answers will fall more secure because they will start discussing. It's only initial 2 days. So anticyclones क्या है? Again I will give you the same handout, but for anticyclones आज देना भूल गया मैं. I made this too. But anticyclones unlike cyclones, so we will just have a brief idea. What are anticyclones? If cyclone is a low pressure center, what is an anticyclone? Anticyclone is a high pressure center with the decreasing pressure outwards. But the pressure gradient between outside low pressure and the inside high pressure is not so great, and therefore winds will flow from high pressure to low pressure in such a way that they will get deflected to the right hand side in the northern hemisphere and become clockwise. Take the running notes for this. Anticyclones अब तक तो कभी नहीं पूछा है एग्जाम में. Anticyclone में pressure gradient force is less, Coriolis force is more, because they develop in the higher latitudes. Fine? So इसलिए proper deflection दिख रहा है. In cyclones, if you remember the gradient wind वाला, Coriolis force is less because they develop in the lower latitudes. Pressure gradient force is more. Fine? So anticyclones are slow moving, sluggish. High pressure centers. Surrounded by low pressure. Surrounded by low pressure. Where is this? Anticyclones in southern hemisphere. Can I continue? क्यों होगा high pressure center? Because air is rising upwards or air is subsiding. It is the region of subsidence of an air. Subsidence of an air. And horizontal divergence near the surface. Near the surface. Can I continue? As pressure gradient, PG's pressure gradient is very less, therefore isobars are widely spaced. Isobars will determine the changes in the pressure gradient. And second, wind speed or wind velocity is low. Wind velocity or the wind speed is low. Can I continue? Size. Very large, having a diameter between they are very large. See, obvious hai, air is subsiding and they are spreading out. So diameter is very large. Large hai, isliye energy is not concentrated at any place. And isliye anticyclones बहुत अच्छा लगता है. You are right now under the influence of an anticyclone which is developing over India, North India. Understanding? Therefore cloudless and clear skies. No movement of the wind. इसलिए pollutants एक ही जगह इकट्ठा होते हैं. And therefore air, that is Delhi ka case is different, but imagine had there been no stubble burning in Punjab, Haryana and Pakistan. So this would have been so good climate. That is what is an anticyclone. As it is developing, जब बहुत डेवलप हो जाएगा तो अगेन कोल्ड एयर विल स्टार्ट डिसेंडिंग, देयर विल बी नो मॉइस्चर लेफ्ट, बिकॉज एज द एयर इज सबसाइडिंग उसका ह्यूमिडिटी होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी विल इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज. एयर नीचे आ रहा है, इंक्रीज. एयर जब ऊपर जाएगा तो डिक्रीज होगा, ऊपर जाएगा तो इट विल बिकम कोल्डर. अब यहाँ पे द एयर इज बिकमिंग वार्मर एंड इसलिए एयर विल स्टार्ट बिकमिंग ड्राई एंड यू विल देन कैरी वैसलीन एक्सेट्रा. अंडरस्टैंडिंग? दिस इज व्हाट इज एन एंटीसाइक्लोन. Formed in the areas of subsidence of an air and these are subtropical high pressure belts or horse latitude, and dusra will be polar high pressure belt. Polar high pressure belt, right? जहाँ पे air is subsiding. Can I continue? Temporary anticyclones are formed in the regions of cold weather due to snow. Example, Himalayas and the Tibetan Plateau region. Therefore, अब कौन सी wind शुरू हो गई? Which is the wind? Northeast. Wind will always flow from high pressure to low pressure. Clear with this? Can I continue? I hope कोई doubts नहीं है. These are the things which we have done many times. And sixth, weather conditions. Tell me the weather conditions. Tell me the weather conditions. What are the weather conditions? So, cloudless and clear skies, cloudless and clear skies, promoting aridity or dryness, promoting aridity or dryness. Promoting aridity or dryness, and therefore anticyclones are known as weatherless phenomenon. Anticyclones are known as weatherless phenomenon. किसका? Draw this diagram quickly. Fine. So before I leave the class, एक आपको homework is go through these 2 papers today. मैं कल 5-10 मिनट में ये डिस्कस करने वाला हूँ, because सब कुछ सेम है, but go through this, and I have tried to give you in as easy language as possible. Thunderstorms and cyclones, tornadoes. At least go home, take the paper home and try to write. Let the stationery cost recover. Right? Let मेरी मेहनत इतने दिन की, the making of the questions, recover. So we'll meet then tomorrow.